The modern smart home is marketed as a series of simple additions. You buy a few automated bulbs, a wireless thermostat, and a doorbell camera, expecting the living space to respond to your presence. But those individual retail gadgets are built on competing communication protocols. When you stack standard Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and Zigbee devices from opposing brands under one roof, they do not share a common language. They simply compete for the exact same bandwidth. As a result, you are suddenly managing a dozen different applications just to turn off the lights and lock the doors. The wireless network chokes on the overlapping traffic. Devices routinely drop offline, and the physical environment begins to actively resist the people living inside it. Buying isolated pieces of hardware and taping them together creates operational friction. It turns daily living into a constant troubleshooting exercise. There is a sharp dividing line between standard consumer electronics and professional-grade environmental control systems like Lutron or Control4. Pro-grade equipment is engineered to govern an entire property at once, rather than reacting to a single button press. Making these professional systems function demands three specific elements: enterprise-grade networking to route high volumes of data, intricate software programming to dictate how devices interact, and precise architectural design to conceal the hardware within the walls and ceilings. Maintaining a responsive environment requires abandoning the retail aisle. The home operates best when treated as a single engineered ecosystem from the ground up. This diagram shows the professional hardware supply chain. Notice how the direct line from commercial distributors like Bell & McCoy is severed. Homeowners, general builders, and standard electricians cannot purchase pro-grade hardware off the shelf. Everything is routed strictly through a certified integrator. Manufacturers mandate these internal validation requirements because their systems are highly complex. Without proper engineering, a miswired lighting or automation layout becomes a massive, expensive liability. By restricting distribution, manufacturers protect the integrity of the physical installation and the daily experience of the end user. This is where the Home Technology Association, or HTA, comes in. The HTA is an independent credentialing body that verifies a firm's technical capability. An HTA-certified integrator acts as the credentialed professional with the specific training and software licenses required to procure and install these systems. This supply chain barrier acts as a rigorous quality control mechanism. It ensures the sensitive technological infrastructure is handled exclusively by equipped specialists. Long before a single cable is pulled, the integration team sits down with the homeowner and the architectural team. They align specific lifestyle goals, like whole home audio or automated shading, directly against the physical blueprints. This architectural cross-section illustrates the pre-wire phase, before any drywall goes up. You can see two distinct wiring paths that must be coordinated within the framing of the house. The electrician installs the high-voltage electrical power, shown here in red. Simultaneously, the integrator runs the specialized low-voltage infrastructure, shown in blue. Low voltage refers to the dedicated data cabling that carries communication signals to speaker locations, shade housings, and wall keypads, routing back to a central server rack. The builder acts as the site director, managing the construction timeline so both the electrical power and the data infrastructure are laid down perfectly in tandem, avoiding structural conflicts and delays. The digital framework has to be physically woven into the bones of the house during construction. Seamless aesthetic control requires early structural integration. Once the walls are closed and finished, the project moves from rough infrastructure to precision hardware. The integration team mounts visible elements, motorized shade cassettes, and acoustic paneling. Here, an integrator acts as the project quarterback. They take the interior designer's aesthetic layout and map it perfectly onto the electrician's power grid, ensuring every piece of hardware is precisely aligned. This detailed custom technology proposal outlines the procurement strategy. The integrator securely sources every individual component directly from the authorized distributors. This guarantees that all parts are natively compatible and fully protected by manufacturer warranties. Consolidating the design, sourcing, and installation under one firm removes the fragmented accountability and finger-pointing that typically derails unmanaged construction builds. Hardware on its own is inert. The true value of the system emerges during commissioning. Commissioning is the highly specialized software programming phase, where all of these separate devices are coded to interact and communicate as a single organism. Look at how this living space responds to a commissioned routine. As the natural sunlight fades outside, the motorized shades lower to block glare, while the interior architectural lighting seamlessly shifts to a warm amber glow. Without this programming, the house is merely a collection of expensive electronics and manual switches. With it, the environment actively anticipates the routines of the people living inside. The invisible software programming dictates the behavior of every device in the home, turning a collection of hardware into an automated system. The installation concludes with a deliberate handoff phase. The integration team trains the homeowner to navigate the unified control interfaces, teaching them how to command the entire property from a single touch panel or mobile app. Because network standards evolve and firmware requires patching, post-installation support is a necessity. The integrator provides long-term remote monitoring, quietly pushing proactive system updates to keep the network fast and secure. If an audio zone drops out, the homeowner does not spend hours on hold with a dozen different hardware manufacturers. They make one phone call to a single integration partner who often diagnoses the issue remotely. Technological luxury is measured by the absence of user friction. It is a quiet, effortless living environment, achieved and maintained through continuous professional alignment.